Yes, folks, good evening. Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. It's starting 11 prediction time once again. This time for tomorrow's trip to Fir Park to face Motherwell. We come into this game sitting 7 points clear at the top of the table after that dramatic late win over Dundee United on Saturday. By no means our best performance of the season, but again, credit to the players for their spirit and belief to come back after that late equaliser and still find a way to win the game. I think that tells you a lot about them. And I think the most important thing it tells you is that they believe in what they're doing. They believe in the football they're playing. They believe in the process. And they're never beaten. If you think about all the great Celtic teams down the years, they have that quality that they can find a late winner when they need one. And that is the thing that wins you league titles. We'll look back, I think, should we go on to win the title at the end of the season, we'll look back at games like that, at that weekend there, as the big pivotal moments. And it's not easy. It's not easy to lose a late equaliser and still find a way to win the game with that short period left. I think there's only 4 or 5 minutes plus added time. But credit to the team. They dug deep. They found a winner. And then Rangers got beat on Sunday and we opened up that gap to 7 points. It's obviously early stages in the season, but we're playing really good football. Only that one blip against St Mirren. If we can keep this up, I expect us to be where we want to be at the end of the season. It has only been 2 or 3 weeks since we last faced Motherwell, of course, at Fir Park. We were there in the League Cup. It was 4-0 that night. Brilliant performance by the team. A lot of excellent individual performances across the pitch as well. So before we look at Motherwell's form coming into this game and then the starting 11, let's look back at a clip from the full-time reaction at Fir Park that night.
It could have been more. I thought right from the start of the match, I thought the energy levels were there. Were really direct. And the passing across all the different areas of the park was really sharp, really crisp, and there was a real desire to win the ball back. You know, we lost it in possession, we were hunting in packs, so it was 3 or 4 players all chasing the ball to win it back and at least break up the play and prevent Motherwell trying to hit us on the counter. But as you say, could have been 3 or 4. You know, in particular, Kyogo had a few chances early on. Certainly wasn't lacking in desire. He's just really keen to get back on scoring regularly. And then we get our first couple of goals and we never ever look back. You know, brilliant performance. And you compare what's Motherwell at the weekend, and you know it wasn't a great game, but it wasn't a great performance. But tonight, you know, the game at the weekend could have been either way, but tonight there was only going to be one winner. I thought we were brilliant.
So there you go. A wee look back at the last trip to Fir Park in terms of the full-time reaction. I'm sure you remember it. It was only a few weeks ago. Motherwell have 1 win from their last 6 games. They're not in great form. They had a dramatic game at Tynecastle on Sunday as well. They ended up losing 3-2 to Hearts. It was controversial. Craig Gordon should probably have been sent off for a second booking. Hearts were down to 10 men. They ended up winning it late. It was a controversial game. Motherwell probably disappointed they didn't take anything from it. They're not in great form, but as I say, if we can replicate that level of performance that we had at Fir Park a few weeks ago in the League Cup, I expect us to get the 3 points we need. And if we can get 6 points for these 2 games before the World Cup break, it guarantees that we will be at least 7 points clear on return for the World Cup, and that's a great position for us as we approach the new year. Let's get to the team. We'll start in goals as we always do, because where else would you start? Joe Hart, I think he'll definitely play there. We've seen Siegrist come in the last time we were at Fir Park, but that was a League Cup fixture. I think Hart will definitely keep his place in goals. I think at right back we'll see Juranovic come back in. Ralston played at the weekend. I don't think it was his best performance of the season by any means, Tony Ralston, but a vital part he played in that 3-2 and the third goal for Kyogo with a flick at the near post for Kyogo to nod home, and that was basically the winner. I know Abada went and got the fourth, but that was the key goal that won the game for us. I think whoever doesn't play tomorrow night out of Juranovic and Ralston will play at the weekend against Ross County, because they've really shared the minutes recently. I think at centre half we'll see Cameron Carter-Vickers partnered by Carl Starfelt. I thought this would be the pairing at the weekend. It was probably just too early for Starfelt, having been thrown back in at the Bernabeu to start again at the weekend. I don't think it was a good game for Jens at all. I think he was really, really poor at times against Dundee United, and I think, as I said at the weekend before that game, that's the pairing. That's the centre half pairing we need going forward. That's the strongest pairing. I still don't think they've been beaten playing together in the league. Well, obviously not, because Starfelt's been out for such a long period now. So those two have got to play when they're fit. That is the strongest centre-half pair, and it gives us the strongest footing in any game. And I think if that can be the starting pair tomorrow, it'll be good for them to get 2 games before the World Cup. And hopefully if Starfelt can stay fit, that'll be the pairing going forward. Left back, I expect Greg Taylor to start. It was disappointing for Bernabei at the weekend because he was so hard done by with that penalty call. I don't know how that can be determined as a handball. It looks pretty natural to me in terms of he jumped up to try and do a clearing header. His arm is up here, but he's got no idea that Fletcher's headed the ball, no idea of direction, no idea it's going to hit his hand. So you can debate the penalty, and it was really, really harsh to give a penalty, but the decision to give him a yellow card is ludicrous. And Ange said after the game he didn't trust that he could let him play the second half because he was on a booking. So that was disappointing for him. Really hard on him, but I do think Greg Taylor will come back in and start this game. Could we maybe see Bernabei come back in on Saturday against Ross County? We'll have to wait and see, but I think that back four is our strongest back four when everyone is fit and available. In midfield, O'Reilly will obviously play in that deeper position where he's deputised for McGregor in almost every game since the captain's been injured. I think Hatate will play. Talked about his performance at Fir Park the last time, absolutely brilliant. More of that would be lovely. I think Aaron Moy will replace David Turnbull. Turnbull was one I did get right at the weekend. That was his first start for a wee while. But I just think the manager likes to make these changes. He made 7 at the weekend off the back of that game in Madrid, so I think he'll make at least 2 or 3 in this game tomorrow. I think Moy coming back in will be one of those changes. And in terms of the front three, I went to Abada on Saturday to start because of his record against Dundee United. He didn't start, but he did come on and scored a beautiful chip finish to kill the game at 4-2. That's the kind of thing you just want to see him do in Europe, Liel Abada. We know he's got that ability, but just mentally, he's one that really struggled with that step up to the Champions League this season. He looked really panicked when he got moments in the final third or chances in front of goal. But you see that he's got that in him, that calm, collected, almost arrogant finish. I think he'll start tomorrow night. He started the last game at Fir Park, bagged 2 goals. It wasn't a great all-round performance from him that night, but he did get 2 goals. I think on the left-hand side, Jota will start again. At the weekend, I thought he was good in spells, just working his way back to full fitness and form from that injury. Obviously, we know we've only got 2 games, so he's not really going to get up to full speed before he has to stop again. Really interested to see if he manages to sneak into Portugal's World Cup squad. I think he was named in the 55-man squad. I don't know if the full squad's been confirmed yet. Should probably have checked that before I come on and done this video, to be fair. But he's a massive player for us. We could see Haksabanovic maybe start in that position. He did get 2 goals at the weekend. That was brilliant for him. He needed that because he's been brilliant since he's come in flashes, but he's not added goals and numbers to his performances, so that'll do him the world of good. We could maybe see him on the right-hand side and Jota on the left, or the opposite as well, because I think that's what happened at the weekend. Lots of options for the manager in the wide areas. James Forrest is there as well, who might feel a bit hard done to because when he came into the team against Hibs, against Hearts, he scored goals. He looked really, really sharp, and he's kind of just dropped back out of it again. He's not too many minutes in recent games. But I'm going with Abada and Jota. It's really hard to call those wide areas just now, and through the middle I'm going with Kyogo Furuhashi. I went with him at the weekend. Yakimakis started. I wasn't surprised by that. Yakimakis had a decent outing, really good knockdown for Haksabanović's second goal. Not his best performance of the season by any means though, and I think Kyogo should be full of confidence after grabbing that late winner. He started at Fir Park the last time. Did miss a barrel load of chances, but managed to grab a goal in the end. And I think his movement is going to be key for us in this game. I think he caused Motherwell no end of problems the last time. He just didn't have that finish at the end of it, so hopefully he can have that tomorrow night. There you go. That's the starting 11 I think Ange will go with. At Fir Park tomorrow, like this video, let me know who you think will start in the comments below. How many changes do you think there'll be from the team that faced Dundee United at the weekend? And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. It's the only way to keep up to date with all the videos. We'll be back at Fir Park tomorrow with the full-time reaction, so join us for that. Cheers.